Jackson's International Airport settlers given eviction notice. Introduction of new road traffic system. And another senior statesman farewelled.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Monday's news. A new state-of-the-art traffic management system will be introduced this year. Road Traffic Authority CEO Nelson Terema says this integrated system will help enforcement of the regulations, minimize ill practices in enforcement, and bring in the much-needed revenue for the government.
Overloading and improper loading.
The CEO of the Road Traffic Authority spoke of the current gaps in enforcement and the need for an integrated system.
RTA is currently embarking on having a well-integrated IT system for vehicle registration and driver licensing for PNG. So sooner or later we will have that system up and running, and by that time we will be in better position to know and give you the correct figure of how many vehicles being imported on monthly basis or yearly basis, and the number of total vehicles operating in the country, and also the number of drivers driving on our roads in PNG.
The new system, he says, will come in the not-too-distant future.
Integrated, centralized IT system for the country, which we will have the data available for the general public to have access to it. So that's an achievement for the country. We hope by March the system will be up and running.
At the moment, the regulatory office doesn't know how many vehicles or drivers are on the road because of the lack of data. Even the traffic police don't have the access to vehicle registration information for individuals or businesses. The state-owned business, MVIL, is the only company that has this information.
The system currently now is owned by MVIL. They perform vehicle registration and driver license, so they have the statistics. So where Road Traffic Authority and other enforcement agencies like police, we don't have it. So like I said earlier, once when RTA have its own system up and running, that's the time I think we will make access to the information to the public.
The RTA CEO says the new system will help in enforcement and bring in the revenue for the government.
A lot of unroadworthy vehicles on the road, unlicensed drivers on the road, and other road traffic issues faced in the country. So the system will also assist to generate revenue which we have never collected before.
Bradley Valenaki, National EMTV News.
The life of late Ronald Tovler from Nonga village in East New Britain province was celebrated in a funeral service attended by immediate family, relatives, close friends and former colleagues. Born on 17 February 1933, Sir Ronald was a senior statesman who held various jobs as a teacher, magistrate and economist. He passed away on 25 December 2021 and is survived by 3 children and 8 grandchildren.
Born 10 years before the Second World War came to Papua New Guinea, Sir Ronald lived through almost 9 decades. He was the 5th born of 9 children and grew up in Matalau village of Rabaul district. Sir Ronald started his education soon after World War II and completed his last set of studies on part-time law programs at the University of Papua New Guinea in 1971.
Training with Sir Paulius Matane, Sir Alkan Tololo, Sir Michael Sumare, Sir Seri Pitoy, and a couple more students. After graduating with a teacher's teaching certificate, he came back to East New Britain and started teaching in 1957. His first teaching post in 1957 was Torchbearer School, run by the Methodist Church in Rabaul. After torchbearer, he was transferred to Winnemami Intermediate School and taught there for 3 months before being transferred to Kerawat School for another 3 months. He was then sent to Kenrian to start the school there. After Kenrian, he came back and taught at Waterhouse Memorial School in Nodu. He then went back to Pilapila to teach there and later other schools in East New Britain and Thalassia in West New Britain.
As a committed man to his life in the public service, Sir Ronald began his career in 1957, where he taught at various schools in East and West New Britain, Marapa, Gulf and NCD. He also served as a magistrate in Simbu, East and West Sepik, Southern Highlands, Manus and Marapa.
During the German and Australian colonial administration periods, at independence and after independence until his passing. Late Sir Ronald Tovler died a very powerful leader. In this regard, we have a sense of great loss to our district, to our province, and our multicultural nation, Papua New Guinea. Late Sir Ronald Tovler's life and development contributions, both physical and spiritual, and achievements in government and community relations in Papua New Guinea and the global community are so many and were recognized by the Queen in her awards to him of, and I quote, the most ancient and most noble order of the Thistle Knight, unquote. That's KT.
Apart from being a teacher and magistrate, Sir Ronald served under different heads on education, corporate and service boards, mostly based in his own province, East New Britain. Thekla Jogo, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister James Marapa has described the late Central Bougainville MP Sem Akoitai as a true icon of peace. He made this tribute during the burial ceremony in Wakunai yesterday. PM Marapa said late Akoitai did a lot for Bougainville, which led to the signing of the peace agreement in 2001.
Prime Minister James Marapa flew into central Bougainville accompanied by Karikuri MP and the Northwest MP. The Prime Minister was welcomed by our President and local leaders at Wakunai. The PM and local leaders joined many in a burial ceremony before the late leader was finally laid to rest. Speaking there, the Prime Minister described late Akoitai as an icon of peace. He said Akoitai's leadership was instrumental, which led to the signing of the Bougainville Peace Agreement in 2001. Marapa said the late MP made history and is a great leader who will be remembered in PNG politics. Late Akoitai served for 4 terms and is one of the longest-serving politician and national leader. Jagla Power Jr., National EMTV News.
It's day 2 of the Evangelical Lutheran Churches of PNG's 33rd Synod as donations are still pouring in to support the nationwide gathering. Today, the Vitis Industries presented cash in kind towards hosts Papua District for the Synod gathering.
As a kind gesture, the Vitis Industry, led by founder Dr. Sergei Mosini, today visited the Mari Lutheran Church to hand over donations towards ELC PNG's 33rd Synod gathering. Dr. Mosini presented Vitis products of water, cordial and coffee, including cash worth 5,000 kina towards the church's activity. He said church is a great social institution that encourages people to change and make a difference in the society.
Church is a very important social institution in every country. It looks after moral values. Yeah? So countries which are neglecting churches, rejecting churches, they have so many social problems. Leaders are dishonest. People abusing alcohol, drugs, involved in some abnormal relations. So to avoid all this unnecessary.
In response to the kind donations, Chairman of the Marapa Lutheran Church, Bomake Rumban, was grateful and encouraged Vitis Industries' presence.
I, from Chairman of Marapa Congregation, we want to take this time and opportunity to thank Vitis for the kindly donation at this time when we are hosting the 33 Synod for ELC PNG here in Port Moresby.
With more kind donations, the Synod is proceeding well with its activities as it moves towards the end of the program. Jamie Harrow, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues with more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. 6 provinces in the Highlands region will have a reliable power supply once the PNG National Power Grid Backbone Infrastructure Project is progressing well. The project is in line with the government's desire to improve access by PNG households to reliable power supply.
The Tari 2 Heights project will be a project of national importance, with the aim to build transmission network to access cheap gas power from heights to improve generation availability and reliability at the western end of the Highlands region and to support power generation from Pawanda and Yonki. The project was originally approved 6 years ago based on transmission feasibility reports published in 2014. After an exhaustive international selection process, Tebian Electric Apparatus Stock Company Limited was contracted to deliver Phase 1 and 2 of the project. The transmission line project was approved by NEC with an added variation of 132 kV transmission and substation project in its decision number 138 of 2021, with contracts executed in July last year. The addition is important as it will strengthen and diversify the power supply to the network by connecting gas generation assets in heights to homes and businesses. The 71 million Kina variation project is funded by Kumul Consolidated Holdings through a shareholder lending arrangements to PNG Power. The project is part of PNG Power's 15-year power development plan. Podivai National EMTV News.
The Waigani National Court has dismissed a challenge by a landowner group intending to stop the multi-million Kina Duran Farm social housing project in NCD. Plaintiff Dabunari Boteka ILG had summoned 3 government agencies and a real estate company over a portion of land at the Duran Farm. Jamie Harrow has this report.
The Waigani National Court has dismissed a case file over a portion of land at the Duran Farm. The case was filed by Dabunari Boteka ILG, taking PNG Resources Corporation Limited, National Housing Corporation, Lands and Physical Planning Department, and the Independent State of PNG as the defendants to court. According to NHC Managing Director Henry Mokono, the landowner group was seeking orders that a duly registered land portion 528 claimed to be a customary land belonging to a Hiri Rural LLG of Central Province. Mokono said the case was dismissed after the defendants presented all evidence before the National Court and declaring Duran Farm as a state land.
So they've taken that issue in this particular land portion number 528. Okay, 528, portion 528 is a ULD that was issued to NHC by the government. And that land was identified for the rolling out of the social housing projects. Because this landowner group, this ILG, has actually taken us to court. And through evidences that the NHC has provided, plus the state and the National Lands Department, the court, in its wisdom, has actually given orders that this is NHC and this is state land.
The managing director also urged settlers in the area to cooperate with authorities for voluntary evictions on the subject land to make way for the housing project to proceed as planned.
Those who are living residing illegally on that portion of land, they have to start making plans to evict themselves from the land. Because once the developers come in, we want these things to be structurally done properly. We've already rolled out water supply into the place. We've already engaged an engineer who is now designing the sewage system, the sewage reticulation system within the facility or within or on the land.
While 2 of 5 construction contracts have been signed in December 2021 to begin the social housing project at Duran Farm, the next 3 contracts will be signed sometime in January of this year. Jamie Harrow, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the NASFund market report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina is buying $0.2775 US, $0.3827 Australian dollars, $0.4062 New Zealand dollars, and 31.5 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee closed higher, cocoa closed higher, and copra closed lower. Crude oil is trading lower, palm oil closed lower, and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading lower. You're watching National EMTV News. A woman convicted of willful murder and released from prison while serving her sentence is likely to return to jail. That story and more when we come back. Welcome back to the news. A convicted murderer who was released 5 years into serving her 16 years and 9-month sentence has now been ordered by the Supreme Court to return to custody. The Supreme Court found that Catherine Mal had failed to comply with the law when she filed for early release on grounds of human rights, and that the National Court had made errors in ordering her release from beyond prison in 2017.
The prisoner, Catherine Mal, was sentenced on the 12th of February 2012 for a term of 16 years and 9 months for willful murder. The 55-year-old, however, appealed the National Court and was released 5 years into her sentence. Prior to Catherine Mal's conviction and sentence, she had a history of type 2 diabetes and hypertension and a known patient at the hospital. While serving her 16 years and 9-month sentence, she filed a human rights application alleging that she was denied medical assistance by the state and she suffered a mild stroke and was hospitalized. In 2017, the National Court released her. However, her 4 years of freedom came to a halt on the 6th of January 2022. The Supreme Court in Port Moresby upheld an appeal by the Solicitor General Tavasa Tanuvasa on behalf of the state, appealing the National Court decision to release Catherine. The Supreme Court found that in her application for early release, she failed to comply with Section 5 of the Claims by and Against the State Act 1996, a condition that requires the provision of a notice of intention to make a claim in an application for a human right or freedom under Section 57 of the Constitution. The Supreme Court also found that Catherine failed to establish, by appropriate evidence, a breach of any of her rights or freedom warranting enforcement. Finally, the court ruled that the application for early release by the defendant is not a relief that is available and which may be sought under Section 57 of the Constitution, but is a remedy that is specifically vested in other authorities like the Parole Board under the Parole Act. Catherine is now ordered by the Supreme Court to return to custody at the Beyond Correctional Institute to serve the remainder of her sentence. Shamin Poriambe, National EMTV News.
The Saiwara community who live adjacent to Jackson's International Airport was given several eviction notices by the National Airports Corporation. They have been given until the end of this month to leave the area. But the settlers yesterday handed a petition to their member for Moresby North East, John Kaupa, to stop the eviction.
It is heartfelt seeing these children with these placards, pointing out that there has been several eviction notices issued to their community. The Saiwara 1 and 2 communities located opposite the airport, at the back of Skyview Real Estate, and next door to the Malolo Estate have been issued eviction notices by the National Airports Corporation over the past year.
Now this land is not owned by Hennessy. Hennessy am tok long this plan get a notice where holy long Hades.
The community is concerned that they have been paying for the land from the traditional landowners of the Dubara Idibana clan of Hohodai, but have been issued eviction notices by the National Airports Corporation.
2009, 10, 11, I work lokam Salem ground on the Mibla community lawyer now Mibla Bam ground him Mibla settle finish na Mibla stop. Alright, time Mibla come inside long too. Mibla ino looking mambla signboard style of front talk of some display private property belong NAC.
The traditional landowner Eliab Tokana says he has the right to the land.
NAC have no titles over this land. It's still a customary land. You must understand in this land. And the landowners, the customary landowners are still the landowner. The property is still ours. You plan to come nothing. You come and you need your name. Eliab Tokana, you are safe.
The community at Hagen Corner within the disputed area say they want a better solution to the problem.
Or him like dual to something, Mibla stop finish him can make him title, can make him all something where proper so that Mibla all stop finish long, settle finish long and Mibla spend the money finish, Mibla dual more or something, Mibla stop long and make him title, give Mibla can pay him Hennessy, now Mibla can do all this country too. Walk boom one time.
The eviction notices haven't fallen on deaf ears, and the community yesterday mobilized to give the petition to local member John Kaupa. They want Kaupa to present the petition during the parliament sitting next week.
Prime Minister advised me also, you must talk with them Rosso, talk with them Minister, and find a way out. Eviction is not the answer. Demolition is not the answer. Yes. Also, the next parliament, or from tomorrow onwards, you go end up, Mibla by working some due diligence.
Kaupa reiterated that there must be a solution reached because eviction was not the answer.
This is like eviction notice. Em notice taso. Em become level from Mibla, where Mibla deliver it, find him out, look him. Now we cannot simply bring the machine here. We must find an alternative. Because it's a state land and you are a state, I'm the state. Also, we must find an alternative.
EMTV visited the National Airports Corporation office today, but the management, including Managing Director Rex Kipongi, talked off record and said they had no preview of the petition and thus could not comment. But NAC's stance remains according to their notices put on media. Over the past year, they stake claim over the land, which they say has some of the infrastructure as well. Like the transmission farm, similar to the one located at 6 Mile, is also within the Saiwara area, which they say is a hazard to the community as well. NAC says they need to reclaim all the land within the declared aerodrome area under a government gazette. The land is put as portion 265. Notices have been posted in the newspapers and they need to reclaim what is rightfully theirs. NAC says they will respond to the petition once they have cited it. Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. Chukai Sports is next. All the details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The GK Netball and Soccer Tournament began today in Makirupu village in the Rigo district of Central Province. More than 20 villages in Rigo are currently participating in the 5-day tournament. Sports reporter Suli Suli is on the ground to give an update on the first day of competition.
Good evening, Ellen. Once again from the Makerupu Soccer Oval. We are here for the update of the day one, the games. Look, Ellen, it was a massive turn-up. Just by observing, the community was packed, the field, a lot of events that happened tonight. But before we proceed on to the update of the games, joining here with me is Scott Vavine. He's the tournament technical advisor. Scott, a very beautiful evening to you. Before we go into the update, just tell us a little about the late Gele Kema.
Thank you, Suli. Late Kema, in fact, her elder brother, the Mari Kema, has hosted this tournament for her sister, who passed away last year, to commemorate her, the memory of her passing. And we have, Mari has hosted this tournament here, and I'm a technical advisor, being a former officer of PNG Sport Foundation. I'm here to help Mari to host this tournament here. Late Gele has appeared locally, around here, locally, and then eventually into the district games. And then we have the PNG games that started in 2003. Gele appeared in 2005 at Goroka. Unfortunately, Team Central, she represented Team Central and won silver at 2005 games. Gele is a great shooter, coming at an early age from primary school up to in the village, as I have said, and also district, and eventually Team Central.
Look, Scott, today was awesome turn-up, and just from your general observation on today's matches for both soccer and netball, how was it for you?
Initially, we have 28 netball teams that registered to take part at this Gele Kema Memorial Tournament. It should only be a netball tournament, but as far as the soccer, fraternity in the Rigo Coast or the Rigo District is concerned, there was great interest in trying to include soccer at this tournament. And today, as you have seen with your own two eyes, we have a massive turn-up here, all the villages, and we have 28 teams. Unfortunately, netball teams, some of the teams withdrew at the last minute due to transport or other circumstances that they have faced. So we have right now 17 netball teams, and we have 20 soccer teams that participate. All the teams come from from Rio Inland, Rigo Central, and the Rigo Coast. And we have at the background here, you will see the Kamali boys who are champions in this area here, just warming up. And the crowd, we have a good crowd today, and a lot of people. Competition was run, but at the same time, we also have the informal sector that also on the side, which is also part of this tournament here.
Looking at the talent here in Rigo Coast, hosting such tournaments, we bring in some talents, especially for the experienced ones who are playing in, like for soccer in NSL and joining these rural talents. What do you think about that?
Well, we have, interestingly, we have a lot of NSL talents here. We have Komara players here. We have some the NSL teams that have, that have come up here to join their village teams to take part here. In a way, it's good because then we are raising the level of the games here, particularly soccer. But when you look at netball, we also have some international players in the netball teams. And our netball teams come right from NCD. We have Kila Kila representing Motukoita, which is good to bring them along here. And we have Tangana, they are first timers here, particularly netball and soccer. And we have inland villages like Alepa, Matairuka. Unfortunately, other villages like Paipo, Mama.
Thank you, Suli. We'll take a break now and return with more of Trukai Sports after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. To football, the PNG couples have been drawn in a tough group for the Oceania Football Confederation World Cup qualifiers. The couples will be facing fierce rivals New Zealand, Fiji and New Caledonia.
PNG will be joining its rivals from the Oceania Football Confederation as they embark on their journey through the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualification campaign this year. The draw for the Oceania qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup have been released. Matches will be played from the 17th to the 30th of March in the host nation of Qatar. 8 OFC members have been drawn into 2 groups, with the PNG couples placed in Group B, along with New Zealand, Fiji and New Caledonia. The winner of the Oceania qualifiers will face an opponent from the Confederation of North, Central America and Caribbean Association Football, also known as CONCACAF. The winner of the playoff match between the 2 football confederations will claim the ultimate prize of qualifying for the FIFA World Cup, taking place from the 21st of November to the 18th of December 2022. Huxley Lovai, Chukai Sports.
And that ends Chukai Sports with the details coming up next.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
A look at the weather forecast for this afternoon and tonight in the southern region. Partly cloudy with chances of a shower or 2 in Port Moresby, Daru, Kerema and Alatau, and cloudy with some rain showers and possible thunderstorms in Popondetta. In the Momasi region, partly cloudy with chances of a shower or 2 in Ley and Medang, Wewak and Vanimo included, and some showers in Ruao. In the New Guinea Islands region, partly cloudy with chances of brief showers in Lorengau and Kavieng, partly cloudy weather in Kokopo and Rabaul, Buka included, and some rain and thunderstorms expected in Kimbe. And in the Highlands region, cloudy periods with some rain showers and possible thunderstorms in Mount Hagen, Mendi and Wabeg, and cloudy with some showers and then morning fog in Goroka and Kundiawa.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for Monday, 10th of January 2022. On behalf of the news team, pleasant viewing, be safe and good night.